Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video about the medications that I take for multiple sclerosis, and I'm going to start off with vitamins, and then I'm going to talk more about the more intense medications that I take for treating multiple sclerosis. So to start out, I have my vitamins here, and I'm going to start out with the most important one as far as I know, which is vitamin D, and 5,000 IUs is what I typically take as a standard. Vitamin D is incredibly important. It's strongly associated, correlated with the development of MS, would be a vitamin D deficiency. And I did have a vitamin D deficiency when I got diagnosed and when I was having all my flares, and that wasn't really a surprise, I don't think, to see that. So since I was taking vitamin D, I've built up my levels. I no longer have a deficiency. I don't think I'm quite in that range that I want to be in. But I don't have a deficiency anymore, so that's got to be a good thing. It's important, though, through my research, I've realized it's important to take it with vitamin K. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at risk for cardiovascular issues, something to do with the calcium absorption. So just so you know that, because a lot of people will recommend vitamin D for MS, but they don't tell you that you have to take it with vitamin K. So, of course, research, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist. So, of course, research for yourself, like what's safe to take. But I'm just giving you like a jumping off point and giving you like what I do, which, take it or leave it. Second thing I'm going to talk about is alpha lipoic acid. So I was doing research what helps with neuropathy because I still have really bad neuropathy in my feet. And so what I discovered through my research was that this can be really good, alpha lipoic acid. I can't testify to whether it works or not because I haven't taken it regularly enough to know if it works or not. But that might be something that could help you if you're having a lot of neuropathy. And something I look forward to, like in the future, I'm going to start incorporating it more. Next, thirdly, I have some zinc. Zinc, zinc, I take it here and there. Some vitamin C. Vitamin C is good, and the zinc too, because of the medication I'm on. It's good to take vitamin C and it's good to take zinc. So I am more susceptible to getting colds and such. I just am recovering from a cold now, and it impacts me more so than it did before I had MS. That's for gosh darn sure. So I take the vitamin C to help, mitigate that risk a bit. Next thing I have is magnesium glycinate. I love this. It makes me feel very calmed down. And I developed pretty severe insomnia with this MS. And it got really bad when I was postpartum. It was like I lost the ability to sleep. Like I lost the actual ability to fall asleep. And I told the neurologist about it, and they were like, yeah, well, that's not classically a symptom of MS. But then when I go online, I see that a lot of people with MS struggle with sleep. So the magnesium glycinate helps with the anxiety associated with not being able to sleep. And because it does increase the anxiety, because really your body needs time to heal. When you have MS, your body needs a lot of time. I used to sleep a lot, as a younger person, a lot. Like I would sleep really late, and I loved sleep, and not having that reset button really threw off my health, and it made it just incredibly difficult to be a new mother and to function with all the damage that I had from my initial flares. So speaking of flares, now I'm going to move into the medications I take for MS. So the medication I take for MS is called Ocrevus, and I really didn't want to take it at first. I was very nervous about it. I really was scared. I thought that it was just too dangerous. You read the pamphlet and it talks about all the things that can happen to you when you take it, and I was scared. I was really, really scared. So I didn't want to take it, and I tried to stop my flares naturally by doing anti-inflammatory diet. And basically what happened was the flares didn't stop. And the neurologist was telling me, both the neurologist and the, what are they called? They're not assistant, but I can't think of the word. but they were impressing on me like the importance of starting Ocrevus, because they're like, you really like something really bad could happen to you. Like if these flares continue, you could end up losing your ability to walk, you could end up losing your vision. And I thought they were just trying to scare me, but when I did have an MRI 3 months after postpart, or 3 months after giving birth, and see that I was in active flares, like serious active flares, lesions, tons of new lesions, I was like, I have to do it because I don't know where this disease is going to go, and I have no control over it. And it was very scary. It became scarier to continue to have flares than to just take the medication that the doctors were telling me was safe enough. And so I started taking Ocrevus. I've now had 2 infusions of Ocrevus. I had the one that was split up in 2 doses, and then I had a second one that was just a full infusion. I had no infusion site reactions. I had no anaphylactic reaction. I had no itchiness in my throat, and which is common, and I had no real negative side effects from what I can tell. I think after the first dose, I did have some intestinal issues for like a couple weeks, but then after that, that resolved. So that's one thing I did notice. And then there was like one day where, so largely my symptoms like got so much better right after that first infusion, but then there was like a few days where everything got worse, like way worse. And it was like a couple days after the infusion. But then that resolved as well. And so largely, not only, it's not supposed to help with symptoms, but it has. It very, 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 very much has. And as far as I know, I'm not having flares. I was supposed to have an MRI this month, but I put it off. Well, actually last month, I was in May, I was supposed to have an MRI, but I decided not to because I was just had too much on my plate, and I was like, I really don't want to do that right now. I don't want to go through this again. You know, going through the medical system with the doctors and the machines and the tests and the coldness of it all, I was like, I just can't do that right now again. So hopefully I'm not having flares. And I have my 3rd infusion in July of Ocrevus, so I'm going to get an MRI after that and just be like, you know, I want to make sure I'm not actually having flares. Because the one time when I was trying to do it with diet, I didn't know I was having a flare, and then I went and I was like, oh, you know, I mean, I could have guessed I was having a flare, I just wasn't sure if it was old symptoms or if it was new symptoms, or it can get kind of confusing. So anyway, I hope that this video meant something to you. I hope that if you're watching and you have found some kind of supplement that really helps you with MS, if you could put it down there in the comments so that I can read it and other people who see the video could read it, that would be so wonderful. Please tell me your experience in the comments. I would love to hear your experience. I would love to know how it's different from my own. I'd love to know how it's similar to my own. And I think we can really help each other. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon.